Hello, this is Unit 2.4, and we'll be looking at elasticity. So, what does elasticity mean? So, elasticity measures how sensitive the quantity demand of a product is to a change in price. So, we have two types. We have an elastic demand here, as you see on the chart, and we also have elastic. So, for example, let's say if the price of a Starbucks coffee goes up 20%, then the people are going to buy less coffee because the price of the coffee went up. So the demand for Starbucks coffee is elastic, while let's say the price of gasoline goes up 20%. Well, people will still have to buy the gasoline because there's no choice. An elastic demand looks like a vertical straight line, and while the elastic demand line looks like a horizontal straight line. So we can find the percent change, or we can find the elasticity, and one way to find the elasticity is using this formula, the percent change formula, which is basically the percent change in the quantity demanded over the percent change in price. Or you can also use plug and chug, which is the first quantity minus the first quantity, the second quantity minus the first quantity over the second quantity plus the first quantity over 2 divided by the second product minus the first product divided by the second product plus the first product divided by 2. Okay, now let's look at some real life examples. So let's say the price of Coke goes up by 10%, and the Pepsi's demand goes up by 8% as well. We can find the percent change for the elasticity of demand by dividing 8 by 10, and which gives us 0.8, which also tells us that it is a substitute good. So this brings us now to cross-price elasticity. So it is basically the measurement of how demand for one good changes when the price of the other good changes. So how can we find this? We can use this formula. It's percent change in the quantity of the first good and the percent change in the price of the second good. Okay, so we could go back to the Coke example. So if Coke's price rises 10% and if Pepsi's demand rises 8%, then it gives us it tells us that this is a substitute good, and the result is negative. So the goods are complements. My apologies for the voice and the organization. I have a really bad fever right now, and I just can't focus right now. I apologize for that. So now, last but not least, let's look at income elasticity. So the definition is the measurement of how demand changes when income changes. So we can find this by the percent change in the quantity demanded over the percent change in the income. So if the answer is greater than 0, it's a normal good, which means that the demand rises with the income. And if the answer is less than 0, then it's an inferior good, which means that the demand falls when the income rises. So let's look at some examples. So if income increases by, let's say, 10%, and demand for instant ramen decreases by 20%. So negative 20 divided by 10 is minus 2, which means that it's an inferior good. So let's say if an income rises 10% and the demand for AirPods increases 50%, the answer is 1.5, which is positive, which means that it's a normal good. Thank you for watching.